Hello, my name is Aaron Teckenburg, and today we are going to read Charlie Takes a Shot by Nancy Chernin. Charlie positioned the golf club. Someone was coming. If anyone saw him, he'd be in trouble. He pulled back the club and swung. Then he ran to hide. Charlie's ball soared pretty as a bird, piercing the blue sky at dusk. It wasn't the shot he wanted, but he didn't have time for the shot he wanted. But he grinned as his ball dove and raced on the green, skidding close to the hole. For a moment, he grasped a golf club. Charlie knew he was born to play. It wasn't long before he could strike the ball further and truer than anyone on the course near his home in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it was in the 1930s, only white people were allowed to compete on the private green. So Charlie became a caddy. He lugged the heavy bags of clubs while he dreamed of the day he could show off his shots for everyone to see. Now, kids, what is a dream you have? Like Charlie's dream of playing golf. How can you work toward it? Now, he studied how to play, how players grip their clubs and when they strained and bent their legs and elbows. When Charlie grew older, all that practice helped him win tournaments back black players organized for themselves on public courses. Charlie wanted a shot at Professional Golfers Association of America tournaments too, but those tournaments were held in private clubs that only allowed white players. No one would give him a chance to play. Then in 1947, he watched Jackie Robinson become the first black player in Major League Baseball. Fans taunted Jackie and told him to go back to the cotton fields. One of his teammates switched teams to avoid playing with him, but Jackie didn't quit or lose his temper. Quietly yet powerfully, he helped his team win by out-hitting and outrunning every opponent. Within a year, Jackie's teammates and fans of every race cheered for him. Could Charlie do the same for golf? Now, Charlie's story happened a long time ago, but do you think people still face barriers today? And where? Be thinking about that in your head. In 1948, over a round of golf, Charlie got the chance to ask Jackie Robinson himself. The baseball star thought about the question. It's going to be awfully tough, Charlie said. Charlie, said finally. He was right. One of the golf courses where PGA tournaments were played, players were white, the fans were white, and the sponsors were white. Only the caddies were black. Jackie's teammates came around when he proved his talent, but Charlie wouldn't have teammates. Golf is one person against the other. Jackie warned Charlie that people would threaten him and call him ugly names. Charlie clenched his fist around his club. He wasn't sure he could stand that. But Jackie told him if he stayed calm and didn't give up, he could open the door for others. Nobody can do it but you, Jackie said. Long after Jackie left, Charlie thought about his words. It was going to be tough, but if nobody could do it but Charlie, then Charlie was going to have to do it. He put all of his efforts into golfing, driving from New York to California and several states in between for tournaments. He became a pro, which meant that he was committed to earning his living from golf, even if some years he didn't win much at all. He won the National Negro Open so many times they told him to keep the trophy. In 1957, he won $2,000 in a tournament, enough to help him buy a house. But no matter how well Charlie played, he couldn't get his chance at the big PGA tournaments. That's because the PGA had a Caucasian only clause in their constitution, which said their members had to be white. America was slowly tearing down the walls that kept people apart. Jackie broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball in 1947. Earl Lloyd did the same for National Basketball Association in 1950. A Supreme Court decision led to the integration of public schools in 1954. But in 1959, the Caucasian-only clause remained in golf, and Charlie couldn't figure out a way to change it. One day, he picked up the New York Post and read a powerful column about how the PGA should let Charlie play. It was written by Jackie Robinson. People started buzzing about what Jackie said. Suddenly, Charlie felt hopeful. In the fall of 1959, Charlie played a man who wasn't a good golfer, but Stanley Mosk was a good lawyer and a good man. They were playing at the Hillcrest Country Club in Los Angeles, where Jewish golfers like Stanley had built their own club years ago when they hadn't been welcome elsewhere. Stanley whistled at Charlie's shots as they flew, skittered, and sank into cups. He asked Charlie why one of the best golfers he'd seen wasn't playing in the PGA Tour. Because of this Caucasian clause in their constitution, Charlie said. You mean to tell me that they actually have that written down as a rule? Stanley, who was not only a lawyer, but Attorney General of California, couldn't believe how unfair that was. He promised Charlie he'd fight for his right to play. It took 2 years of letters and arguments with the PGA, but Stanley's efforts got the Caucasian-only clause removed in 1961. Charlie became the first black player ever on the PGA Tour. Still, battles weren't over. Hotels where other players stayed wouldn't rent him a room. Clubs where tournaments were held wouldn't let him eat with other players, change their locker rooms, or use their bathrooms. Once a stranger called him and said, You better not bring yourself out to our golf course. You know what's good for you. Another time when he went to putt his ball, someone kicked it far away. Charlie kept going. His practice swing, he studied courses to figure out the right club and angle for each shot, and he tried to close his ears to the jeers of people who didn't want him there. Now, kids, if I were you golfing, how would you feel? You thinking about that? Then, 6 years after Charlie had joined the PGA Tour, he noticed something different about the crowd at a tournament in Hartford, Connecticut. For the first time, no one was rooting against him. Swing, putt, sink, hole by hole, he kept advancing. On the final hole, Charlie positioned the golf club, but Charlie rushed the way he had long ago when someone was about to chase him away. Thunk! The ball fell down, down into a sand trap. It'd be a tough, if not impossible shot. To Charlie's surprise, he heard encouraging murmurs. The crowd wanted him to win. They believed he could win. Suddenly, Charlie believed too. He took out his wedge, closed his eyes, and swoosh! This time the ball flew high, fluttered, and landed softly 4 feet from the cup. He putted. Clink! The crowd roared and clapped 15 minutes. Charlie wiped his eyes. He won $20,000. It felt like a million. Now, I'm looking at the crowd here, and what do you notice about the crowd? Are they cheering? Are they being mad at him like before? Charlie did it again. He opened a door for others. Now Charlie played golf the way he dreamed since he was little, showing off his shots for all to see. And now it was possible for everyone who loved the game to play and hear cheers from the crowd. Now, how does Charlie feel? Look in the pictures to the right. It looks like he's cheering, jumping for joy, smiling. Now, this is the end of the book. And I want you guys to think about these questions as you guys are done reading. Who is Charlie and what was his dream? What was stopping him from playing professional golf? How did Charlie finally get the chance to play? And why is it important for Charlie to challenge the rules that he was faced early on? That is, Charlie takes a shot.